This video chapter lesson will review part 10 of the N400 application. If you have a copy of your original N400, please have it with you during this lesson to follow along. Remember, during your interview, the interviewing officer has a copy of the exact application you sent the United States Citizenship and Immigration Service. If you don't have a copy of the N400, be sure to download a copy from our website. Part 10 of the N400 concerns issues of fraudulent misrepresentation. It deals with the mental and moral qualities distinctive to an individual. We will be looking at the different ways the questions can be expressed or asked. There is more than one way to ask the same question. We will help you understand each question and vocabulary. Remember to answer all questions fully and accurately. In this particular part of the N400, just about every question that will be asked of you will be answered with a yes or a no. Often, you are asked to explain your answers simply to see if you understand what is being asked of you. Remember, more than 95% of all questions in Part 10 are answered with a yes or a no. Be careful to listen for the specific expression at the beginning of all the questions. Have you ever? Many of the questions begin with that expression. Listening to that cue may give you a hint that the answer is a no. Let's get familiar with the following words for Part 10's questions 1 through 7. Any, claimed, election, ever, failed to file, federal, legally incompetent, mental institution, owe, registered, required, since becoming, taxes, title of nobility, vote. Let's begin Part 10, Section A, that has general questions about your character. If you have to answer yes to questions 1 to 3, you should see a lawyer. Stating you are a U.S. citizen in order to vote, to get public benefits, or for some other reason is a deportable offense. Question 1. Have you ever claimed to be a U.S. citizen? Your possible answer might be, no, I have never lied about being a U.S. citizen. The question is asking if you have ever lied, said, or wrote to anyone that you are a U.S. citizen. Sometimes people lie and say they are citizens to vote or collect public assistance or get federal jobs. Notice that the question begins with the expression, have you ever? Remember, most of the time, your answer should be a no when you hear that expression. Another possible way to express this question is, have you ever lied and said you are a U.S. citizen?
Upgrade your membership today to America's best citizenship program, now for less than 11 cents a day, and join our VIP area. Easier, better, and faster access to more than 42 high-resolution video lessons, quality MP3s of interview questions and answers, better navigation of all 500 learning activities with instant same-day membership, and no more advertisements or commercials interrupting your lessons. Upgrade now and join the thousands of members who have become U.S. citizens.
Question 2. Have you ever registered to vote in any federal, state, or local election in the United States? This question could also be asked. Have you ever registered to vote in the U.S.? Once again, we see the expression, have you ever, indicating that your answer should be a no. Question 3. Have you ever voted in any federal, state, or local election in the United States? Hopefully, you have never voted because you are not a citizen. Only U.S. citizens can vote. A possible way of expressing this question would be, have you ever voted? Question 4. Since becoming a lawful permanent resident, have you ever failed to file a required federal, state, or local tax return? Other possible ways of expressing this question is simply, do you pay your taxes? Hopefully, you have filed your taxes every year. If you haven't been truthful, tell the officer. Try to bring your tax returns for the last 3 years. Question 5. Do you owe any federal, state, or local taxes? Other possible ways of expressing this question is, do you owe any taxes? Hopefully, you have paid all of your taxes and owe no money. Question 6. Do you have any title of nobility in any foreign country? Other possible ways of expressing this question is simply, are you a king, a queen, a duke, or other? The question is basically asking you if you are a noble in your native country. Question 7. Have you ever been declared legally incompetent or been confined to a mental institution? Other possible ways of expressing this question is simply, have you ever been in a mental hospital? The United States Citizenship and Immigration Services wants to know if you have a mental problem that may prevent you from taking the oath. This also may raise questions about your criminal history because you may have been arrested to serve time in a mental institution. The following questions are designed to reflect your affiliations since your arrival in the U.S. Question 8 is general and intended to give you the opportunity to discuss your membership or associations with any groups, recent or distant, whether social, work-related, or religious. Let's get familiar with the following words for Part 10, Section B. Advocated, associated with, association, occupied by, overthrow, membership, organization, political, religion. One question is, have you ever been a member of or associated with any organization, association, fund, foundation, party, club, society, or similar group in the United States or in any other place?
Upgrade your membership today to America's best citizenship program, now for less than 11 cents a day, and join our VRP area. Easier, better, and faster access to more than 42 high-resolution video lessons, quality MP3s of interview questions and answers, better navigation of all 500 learning activities with instant same-day membership, and no more advertisements or commercials interrupting your lessons. Upgrade now and join the thousands of members who have become U.S. citizens.
Other possible ways of expressing this question is, are you in any organization? Your interviewing officer wants to know if you were ever involved in a group that will make you ineligible for citizenship. You might be asked if you have ever been a communist or terrorist. This includes groups associated with terrorists or communist activity. Communism is a government with no freedom, like Cuba or North Korea. A terrorist is a person who kills innocent people, like Osama bin Laden. Another question is, have you ever advocated the overthrow of any government by force or violence, or have you ever persecuted any person because of their race, religion, national origin, membership in a particular social group, or political opinion? Other possible ways of expressing this question is simply, have you ever persecuted for an unjust reason? Persecution means that you tortured or imprisoned someone or were involved in another way with hurting someone. If you did, the USCIS can deport you. there are questions about whether you had any involvement with the Nazi government. The questions are: between March 23, 1933 and May 8, 1945, did you work or associate in any way with the Nazi government of Germany? Have you ever been allied with any government in the area occupied, allied with, or established with the help of the Nazi government of Germany? Other possible ways of expressing this question is simply, have you ever been associated with the Nazi Party? Beginning in Part 10, Section C, you might be asked questions about your continuous residence. This includes the question, have you ever called yourself a non-resident on a federal, state, or local tax return? Other possible ways of expressing this question is simply, have you ever lied and said you were not a resident to gain some benefit? The United States Citizenship and Immigration Service wants to be sure that people applying for U.S. citizenship are of good moral character. You do not have good moral character if you ever lied to the U.S. government since you got your permanent residence, or been involved in illegal activities. Part 10, Section D, is about your moral character.